Hey guys, Dan Heilman back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Golden Cross that is upcoming for Bitcoin, what that usually means for the pumpiness of it, and we're going to talk about Litecoin, which is randomly dumping today. I have no idea why, but some price targets for Litecoin, and this may be your last chance to purchase at a very nice discount. So let's talk about it. All right, Litecoin, we'll start with Bitcoin actually. So Bitcoin is doing the Golden Cross. So this is basically the opposite of a death cross. The death cross, funny enough, is usually a pump moment here. So you can see right here when it is coming to the death cross, you'll usually see one sell-off. It was quite a big sell-off, 10%, 11%, big for nowadays. And then as soon as that completes, boom, we had a nice big pump, okay? And you can see that does normally happen always, a dump before the death cross and then some pumpage. This one, we kind of retested and then went back up. And then finally, when you see the Golden Cross, you can see we had some nice pumpage right here. There you go, at least 60% there. If you go back a little bit further, same thing. This was a little bit of a dump before the Death Cross and then a big pump. This was a very nice pump right here from, I guess I'll do it from the actual Golden Cross, another 113% pump. Now, almost every time this red line goes back above the yellow line, you can see some big old pumpage. Now, the only time that didn't work is really right here where this Golden Cross actually kind of turned into some dumpage, but this was the end of the bear market, or sorry, the beginning of the bear market, the end of the bull market in 2021. So that's a little bit of a different scenario. Go back here. This was a massive one, right? So this one was wow, 750% pump after this Golden Cross. So this is what you can expect from Bitcoin. And usually when you get some big pumps from Bitcoin, you will see the altcoin market follow. Now, I was looking at the Litecoin Bitcoin pair and I was like, whoa, what's happening here? We got some big dumpage going on here. So interesting enough, if we draw some lines here and we go like this and we draw it right through there, whoa, interesting. We are retesting the bottom of this pair here. Now, if we do break down from this, we might see a little bit of a lower price for Litecoin in regards to Bitcoin, but we have been holding this resistance for quite some time. This is 1, 2, 3. Sometimes the fourth goes through, but it could be a fake out. We could see a little drop below this and then a recovery, but also we could see, like we've seen many, many times. I mean, look at this first one. This was a very big pump in terms of Litecoin Bitcoin pair, and we might see something similar here. Now, another reason why I expect that to be more likely than a dump below this line, another thing is we can draw this to kind of see, you know, roughly how much further we could go. We could see maybe, if we zoom in now, it looks like the wicks are going to about this area. Actually, let me fix that a little bit on the daily. So make sure that's touching the bottom of the candle closes. You can see we might see something like another 2-3% dump on Litecoin, which would be also a very nice fake out on the daily time frame. So if we go to the daily time frame, you can see right here, if I add my indicators, my trading indicators, you can see my Camel Finance indicator is telling me that we should have a daily cycle low very soon. So that will be very interesting. And another interesting fact is if you go look down here on Market Cipher, it's saying we're in the money flow and we're coming out of it, but that may just be a fake out. So it could be something like, you know, over here where it looks like we're going to come out of it and then just kidding, we're going to go back into the money flow. If we go look down here, you can see we did that. Over here, we basically came into the money flow. This means money is pouring into the asset, this green shaded area here. And then kind of we came back up out of there. So you can see the daily cycle low, the last daily cycle low was right down here. And we saw a nice pump of 66%. We did see a daily cycle here, which did not end up much of a pump, but it was still a 15%. You can see here from here to here, that was about a 74%. From this daily cycle, that was a 60%. So I am expecting something similar to this. And the weekly cycle low is not till the end of the market, which is interesting, right? So I've been planning that the bull market, or estimating, planning, however you want to say it, that the bull market will end around October-ish of this year. Now that is because of the 4-year cycles that I've talked about a couple times. And if you look at the timing of it all, let me just go to this one right here. So if you look at the timing of these 4-year cycles, you can see that they are very consistent over time. If I go to the weekly, you can see they're very, very consistent, right? So you have a bull market, you have a bear market, and then you have a bull market, you know, quite a long time, about 1,000-ish days, just over 1,000 days. If that continues to play out, that looks like the top will be sometime around October 6, 2025. So interestingly enough, that kind of goes to show here as well. Another thing we're doing is we're actually testing the bottom of the bull market support band. So if that holds as resistance, like it did down here, like it did here, we tested the bottom of this channel. So again, as I've said it, I don't think we're going back to the bottom of this channel, but we could, as a worst case scenario, go to the bottom of this channel. That would be quite a big dump, and I don't expect us to go to $65 again, but of course it's financial markets and that can always happen. You can see we are actually also coming out of this. So you can see that this short-term bubble risk indicator, which is an ITC into the cryptoverse premium indicator, is also showing that. Another thing is I am actually getting almost break even on my Litecoin trade. I was up quite a bit. I did actually just add a little bit to my position. I have a position size for leverage of 1,000 Litecoin now. I might add to it even more. My entry price is about $91. And right now, if I click on this, where is the price right now on Bitunix? The price is coming right down to my entry. So I did just add a little bit. I might add some more if we dump a little bit even more. But if you do want to leverage trade, I have a link below to Bitunix, and it's an amazing exchange. Just be careful with leverage. I would use low leverage, and I would use a very small position size compared to your account, right? So if you have a $100,000 account, only risk X amount of money, you know, whatever your risk tolerance is, 1, 2, 3, 4% of your account. I have a little bit higher risk tolerance, so my risk is a little bit higher. I am actually looking, I'm actually looking at a target of about $990 at the very top end for Litecoin, and I'll give you some backup on that. And I put my stop loss all the way down here at $39, so I'm risking 50 grand to make $919,000. So that's what I got right now going on for a Litecoin trade. If you do want to sign up for Bitunix, I have a link below. That is the best way to support the channel, so feel free to do that. You can buy spot also on Bitunix. You don't have to leverage trade if you're uncomfortable with it, and if you do, you can also put spot on Bitunix, and you can trade against your spot. And you can use very small amounts just to get, you know, scratch your itch for trading if you've been meaning to try it out. You can see big volume on the dump, which is kind of interesting. I don't know why it's doing that, or I haven't seen any news or anything about Litecoin. Maybe it's just some manipulation here going on. Actually, let me check for manipulation. So my indicator here, which is, let me see if I go to like the 1 hour, if I go to like the 30-minute, I don't see anything, but it's very interesting because we are just perfectly testing the bottom of this bull flag. And you can see we failed 3 daily cycles and we're going towards the bottom of this. You can see every time we've hit the bottom of this channel, we've had some big ups, okay? So I'm expecting that to kind of happen again. You could draw it this way, or you could draw it something like this. So basically, I like to draw this through the candle close. This is the 4-hour candle close. So you could draw it through these two. And then this lines up even better here. So that's almost exactly where we are. We've already retested the bottom of this channel. You can see we hit it 1, 2, 3 times. This is a bull flag, just like we've seen in Bitcoin. So if we go back to Bitcoin as well, we had some massive bull flags playing out. The most notorious one is this one right here. You can see we've had this descending channel, which is AKA a bull flag. You can see we had this on Bitcoin where we did this, and then we basically retested it for a final time. We did have a fake out, and you can have fake outs, but this one was kind of, I think this was the yen carry trade. So that's kind of a little special scenario here, but you can see, boom, we had this huge bull flag play out to a massive upside target from the bottom of the channel to the top of about 100%. And I would expect even more of a pump. Now we're getting bought up right now. So I did increase my trade a little bit. I might increase my trade a little bit actually right now while I'm live. I might do that. I was actually looking for some news, which is interesting here. You can see we are actually if you do a fixed volume, I'll show you guys that as well. If you do a fixed volume, we're also retesting that point as well. So it's kind of interesting, but that's not what I was trying to open. I was looking for some news. I was like, is there something going on? But as far as price targets, you can see here, this is into the cryptoverse. It's basically a risk metric that takes all sorts of things to an account, and it has a confidence number. So this is the confidence in that risk number. If you see, not many of them have as high a confidence as Litecoin. This is an 8 confidence, meaning it is almost the highest confidence, meaning the price prediction should be very accurate. And if you look at the price prediction for Litecoin, you can see the price prediction is $990, which is pretty insane. That is almost exactly a 10x from right here. So I think there is massive risk to reward on a Litecoin trade. You can see in every bull market we have hit one. Okay, so we've hit one right about, it's hard to, let me like zoom in here. I'll zoom in the last 2021. You can see the risk metric hit 0.998. So basically one. So if you want to be sure that you're going to get your trade completed, for example, if you're looking to take profits, you could set your take profit at like $975. You could even set it at like $899 if you want to be, you know, because that gives you a 0.97-ish risk. So, or 0.98-ish risk is what I meant to say. So if you're looking to complete your trade, you can definitely use this as a target, a massive target. I mean, not a lot of coins on here have, if I go back to the crypto screener, not a lot of these are below, what is Litecoin, about a 0.44. So it's actually quite low on the risk curve. There is a lot of other assets. Avalanche is a little bit lower. Sui is a little bit lower. BNB is actually a little bit lower. Dogecoin. Polkadot is really low. So I think Polkadot's another good one. Even Toncoin is really low. So Ton right now is a 0.18 on the risk curve and says that we could go all the way to $33, which is also 11x from here. So pretty insane. But yeah, we got a target of $990. But if we see a huge pump on Bitcoin today or tomorrow, I do expect us to make a new all-time high very quickly in Bitcoin. I think we're going to, and I think it's going to drag a lot of the altcoins up with it. We have kind of heard from Jerome Powell that we might have some quantitative easing, maybe starting in September-ish. I can't find the source on that, but I've seen a lot of people talk about it. He also mentioned that if we enter any sort of a recession, that he would be cutting the Fed rate down to basically 0 or 0.5%, and that's from the 5.5. He said he's willing to cut about 5%, and we were about 5.5% on the Fed rate when he mentioned that. So I don't see any whale manipulation, which is this yellow X right here. So I don't really know why we're dumping right now. I haven't seen any news or anything like that. But another thing that's kind of playing out is a reverse head and shoulders here, right? So if we go from here to here to here to here, and then we complete that line actually about there. Oops. Yep. And then down to about there and then back out. You can see we kind of have like a little reverse head and shoulders playing out here, which is interesting as well. So I think you can, let me try to draw that like a little bit better. So if we go from here to here, to the top of that, to the bottom of that, and then we go to the top of that, to the bottom of that. There we go. That looks a little better. Something like this. So we have on the daily, we have a reverse head and shoulders, and we could actually right now be trying to test this. Oops, I didn't mean to hit shift there. We could be trying to test this. Let me clean up the chart because this is a little bit messy with my trading indicators. There we go. That looks much better. Okay, so we could be trying to test something in like this. Oh my God, stop hitting shift. So we could come down and test that about 88 bucks. And that would also coincide with roughly this big moving average and also that high volume range that I was talking about as well. If we do fixed volume range, again, I think that would be Interesting. There it is. So the fixed volume range actually for this head and shoulders pattern is actually where we're at right now. So that's quite interesting. So this might be the bottom. We could again pull down just a little bit more out of here as like a fake out. And also we could just blast off right from this point right here. So if we open in a couple hours here and Bitcoin does a massive rip out of here, again, we're really close to the all-time high. We missed it by 2%. So we're 2% away from, well, I mean, right now we're actually like what, 3%, 4%. Okay. 4% away from an all-time high. How do you like that daily candle on right there? How you like that? That's a pretty big daily candle, which is a hammer candle. You can see the big wick to the downside. And we could definitely be pulling out of here very quickly. So this will be interesting. If Bitcoin comes ripping out of here, I think Litecoin will also come ripping out of here, along with some altcoins. Not all the altcoins will do extremely well, but I think a lot of the big altcoins will do extremely well throughout this year through to the end of the year and even potentially into the beginning of next year. So that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. I have the links below to Bitunix and a bunch of other exchanges, so feel free to try those out. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Have a great day, everyone. See you guys.